Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about tables. So sometimes we have to display data on the screen that's tabular in nature. And so a table is the best way to do that in some cases. Um, what I'm not talking about when we're talking about tables is there actually used to be a big trend where web developers, because of the way that the CSS and HTML were limited, they found that they could really control the layout of a page with tables. Um, there are much better ways to do that now. And so we're not going to be doing any layout with tables, but tables are still great for displaying data. And you'll find yourself using tables quite often in a lot of web applications. So let me switch over to my screen here and we are going to get going straight away. So, and that's probably just a side note, that's probably the first time I've ever said straight away. I don't know why I said that. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna continue on with this About Me page. And underneath where we added our last unordered list, I'm just gonna give myself a little space here. Um, and I'm gonna add another H3 just to give myself a heading. And what we'll do here is we'll say previous jobs or something like that. Now you could do other things here. You could put like for your contacts or all kinds of other things there, like you could make a list of your names and numbers and emails, but we'll just try this out with previous jobs. So to create a table, this is going to have many elements, just like nested elements, really similar to the HTML page itself. But what we're going to do is we'll just give it a table. That's the first tag that's going to surround everything, okay? This is a parent tag called table, okay? And this is what's going to let the page know that what's in here is going to be a table. Now, there are two main elements inside of the table. There's the T head, which will be the head of the table. And then there is the T body, which will be the body of the table. But the body will have most of the actual data in it. Okay, so let's start with the head. So up here, what I'm going to do is give myself a little bit more space just to kind of see what's going on. I'll scroll, make it easier for you guys to see. So in the head here, what we'll do is we're going to do, inside of there, we're going to do a tag called a TR. Now the TR is a table row, okay? So that's what TR stands for. So nested up, we have the table, and then we're in the T head, and then now we're in a table row. And what we're going to do now is create our column names. So then I'm going to break inside that, and now we have table headings. So TH, okay, TH is table heading. And let's see, let's do date, or maybe we'll call that dates or something. I don't know, date range, something like that. And then we'll do another table heading, and we'll do this employer. And then maybe we'll do one more, and we'll just call it type or something like that. I don't know. You wouldn't normally do that, but I just try to give it a little bit more. If I save and go over here and refresh the page, you can see that we have previous jobs, and then we have this date range, employer, and type. And this doesn't look much like a table yet, because it's just all kind of shoved together. But we'll keep looking at this, okay? So let's see what happens now. Now what I'm going to do is start putting information in the body. So let's go here, and I'm just going to make some stuff up. Each row in our table will have a TR, and this is going to follow the same structure, okay? So we had 3 table headers up here, and what we want to do here is have matching 3 table data, okay? 3 table data elements inside of our row. So in the head, in our column headers, we have 1, 2, 3, okay, columns in our row. So for each of our rows in our body, we want to have 1, 2, 3, but instead of table headers, we have table data. Okay, so let's just go ahead in here, and I'm just going to use years here because I'm really bad with dates. So let's see, I started working in 1994 through 1996, and I started working at a place called Bartholomew's. I'm just gonna call it Bart's because I don't know how to spell Bartholomew's anymore. So everybody just called it Bart's anyway. And I was a dishwasher. Now, this type up here, what I think we'll do is change that to position. That makes more sense. So now if I refresh, if I save and then refresh the page, you can see that I have a date range, an employer, and a position, and they line up underneath the headers. Okay? And so we would continue on in this T body in this fashion, and we could do another TR, and I'm gonna do a TD, and we'll say, and then from 1997 through, let's say, 1998. Trip down memory lane here. I worked at Burger King, and here I was a cook. Now, let's see, I'll do one more. There are many more jobs I've had. You can tell my early career was a lot of restaurants. So we'll do whoa, Burger King. Wow, Burger King, not kink. That's weird. So here I work at Ponderosa. I actually came and left that place quite a few times. But here I was a dishwasher and then a cook. So I'll do both. So if I save and refresh, it just keeps going on, okay? You can kind of see how this table is laid out. There are other things I could do in this table. Let me just see if I can, off the top of my head, do a little bit of styling here. And you guys don't have to follow along with the style, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a width of 100%. And what that's going to do is make my table 100%. Okay. And then what we'll do is, I don't want to do too much styling because we haven't really done this at all. You know what? I'm not going to do any styling at all. I just wanted to spread this table out to kind of show you. We're going to work on styling and positioning and things like that in our next chapter, which will be all about this style stuff. So I'm not going to get into any of that right now, just because I don't want to overwhelm you, and we're just going to stick with HTML. So this is what's going to happen by default in HTML, is it's going to make this table look like this. But it is useful information. You will find yourself doing these quite often. Let me see if I remember one more job just for fun here. Oh, and I'll show you one more trick. Let's while we're here, if you're in VS Code or if you're in Atom, you can find the extensions. It's here on here, and if you search for Emmet, and you can install Emmet here. And what should happen if you have Emmet, let me try HTML. Yeah, we'll just keep with what I got. I think I have it installed already. One thing I could do with Emmet is, so you see how I'm having to type all these out manually. Emmet is like a shortcut. And so what I could do with Emmet is I can type TR and hit tab, and it'll create that there. The other thing that I could do is I could do TR, and then I could do a greater than sign, and then I can do TD, and I'll do times 3. And I think if I hit tab, what it should do is create a TR, and then inside of that create 3 empty TD elements. And yes, that's what it did. And so Emmet is a powerful tool that if you learn some of the shortcuts, it will help you speed up the process of this. So you don't have to do that. And actually, I kind of prefer that you type everything out by hand because that will help you memorize and instill inside of you what the structure of each of these things are, so it'd be a little easier. But I did want to mention that there are tools that makes writing HTML a lot easier. I mean, even VS Code doing the closing tag. Um, if you don't have an editor that's doing the closing tags for you, just make sure that before you start typing anything inside of there and get all crazy, that you open and close your tags first. What I mean by that is if I were going to open a tag, now Emmet's going to, that's annoying. Emmet's going to complete this for me every time, but I would write the opening tag and then I would type the closing tag and then I would go back inside of it and put any content inside of that I wanted. Okay, so that's just a side note. I don't need this fourth one here. Let's see. You know what I did for a very long time? Now this is going to overlap some of my other years, but from 1996 until about 2000 and I think 11, I worked for a company called Odell Brothers Moving, and I was a furniture mover. All right, so there we go. So we have a lot of that going on. All right, so we got our table, guys. This is a little bit more complex just because there's kind of a lot of nested tags, but it's not really that complicated if you break it down to its basic elements. You have a table. Inside of the table, you have a table head and you have a T body or table body. And inside the table head, you have a table row with some table headings in there. And then inside the body, you have table rows with table data for each column inside there. So that will get you started with tables. And don't worry too much, guys. We're gonna, if you're lost or whatever, I want you to be following along. It doesn't matter if you memorize this stuff. You just need to know how HTML works, okay? Because you're gonna spend a lot of time. You'll memorize the stuff the more you do it, and you're gonna spend a lot of time looking stuff up. Okay, it's okay to have a job and look stuff up. I still look up stuff all the time. I've been doing this for a very long time. I started learning to develop in 2008, and I still look up HTML stuff sometimes just because I get confused or forget exactly how something is typed or the syntax of it, and I'll still look it up, and I'm not ashamed of that. And you shouldn't be either. A lot of people feel like they need to know everything and keep all of this in their head. You just need to know how it works. And what I would say to memorize more than anything is just memorize what you can do, okay? And it'll be easy for you to find documentation. And at the end of this course, and at the end of every course, I'm actually going to show you where to find more information all the time, okay? So that you can continue studying and then you can go back to it and learn more and reference what you did know and forgot, okay? But a lot of this basic HTML stuff that we're going over in this course, you will end up memorizing for the simple fact that you're going to be typing it all the time, okay? You're going to be doing it all the time. These elements I'm showing you are very, very common, and I'm going to leave out a lot of even other common ones, but I'm going to leave out a lot of ones you don't use all the time, because my goal in this course is not to teach you everything there is to know about HTML. It's actually to teach you how HTML works, and then we're going to continue our knowledge through the other chapters of this course, building real-world example applications. I think that's the best way to learn. So stay with me, and we're going to only do just a few more videos in the HTML chapter, and we are going to move on quickly to CSS. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you in the next video. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. Later.